Well, it's a lot of hard work because I believe a couple of years you kind of had a breakdown. Is might be too big a word, but it was a bit overwhelming. Going.
Yeah.
So how did you kind of deal with that and come out the other side?
Yeah, a few years back I was just, everything just launched, and I started, of course I made a lot of tracks, and every month I had a release, and everything just went so well, and everyone loved my tracks, and I was touring a lot. I was actually touring too much, in my opinion, if I look back at it right now. But I just couldn't say no. I was so happy with everyone that wanted to book me that I just went for it, and because I loved it, I kind of ran past myself, like I did too much. Is
there a lot of pressure, because you say that things are going well, you're releasing tracks, is there pressure to do as well as the latest track that you did?
Yeah, that's the biggest pressure there is, especially when you have success, and you have like a fan base. Everyone expects you to have a certain quality, and I think right now the qualities, the stakes are really high. Like everyone is like producing top-notch music, and of course in the DJ Mag Top 100 there are a lot of guys that have, the competition is really high. So it puts a lot of pressure on us, especially because we are touring all the time, and then we make our own music ourselves. So it's a constant thing. You're constantly busy.
In that way, can you enjoy the music that you make the same way as you did when you were kind of starting out and there wasn't all that business side?
That's a really good question. I think it definitely changed a little bit, because back in the days I was making music because I really enjoyed making that music at the time, and I had the time to actually finish a song in a proper way that I was 100% satisfied with it. Right now I still enjoy it, of course, because otherwise I wouldn't be doing it, but there are deadlines, you know. I want to release every month, so I have to come up with new sounds every month, and just keep it fresh and keep the quality level high as well, so the expectations are higher. But right now I have a super good team that helps me with that, like management, and my bookings agency is really like trying to keep a hold of me and keep me healthy as well. And sometimes they say, okay, Dan, no shows for the next 2 weeks, just lock yourself up in your studio and go finish that music. And that's what I need. Yeah,
is that one of the things that you've kind of took away from that time, is that you take a little bit more time off and to kind of gather yourself? And
yeah, right now I see the urge and the need to actually take some time off from touring every now and then, because I think music is still the #1 priority in my opinion. I think that's what sticks with people, and that's why people want to book you or love you. And of course DJing is really important as well, but that's just a part of the whole thing, the whole artist.
And well, you also mentioned that there's a lot of young talent, and you, I believe last year started your own record label, Fonk.
Yeah.
Was part of it, because I read that you kind of want to help starting talent, so was that part of it, to start your label, to have a platform for young talent to release their music?
Basically starting my own label was the idea was to help other young talents, because I was always working with young talents on the background, but I never had the platform for them to actually give them a single release or give them all the attention they deserved. And right now I have that platform. It's really great to work with young talents, because they have such, they're actually where I was like 4 to 3 years ago. So they're not touring that much, they're really focusing on music, and right now I can help them with the mistakes I made back in the days, and especially when it comes to planning your releases and actually planning your life as well.
Is there one thing one example you can give of the type of thing that you help them with? Is it technical stuff, or
yeah, of course it's technical stuff. I always say, like, it doesn't. If people send me music and they want to know what I think of it, sometimes I just listen to if the idea is good. It doesn't have to sound that well. I can help you with that. I can master it. I can mix it, and of course I look at it in a different way, because a lot of young producers, they don't tour as much, or they don't play in clubs. They just sit behind the computer and make music. And I approach it as a DJ, so sometimes like, this build-up is way too long, because you're standing on the dance floor and there needs to be something happening in a track, and that's where I come in and help them and give them advice. Of course, it's just an advice. They don't have to do it, because if they want to do it the other way, be my guest. But those are the small things that I can help them with my DJ experience and my experience as a producer.
For every beginning producer, what's the one thing, one tip that you want them to know about?
Yeah, it sounds really cliche and corny, but you come up with your own sound and try to develop that as much as you can, and don't put anything out before you're 100% satisfied with it.
Okay. And is it for you, because now you're kind of on the other side, you were the DJ, or you still are,
yeah,
but now you're on the other side, you're kind of the boss man, so what was that like for you? Is that a role that you enjoy, or?
Yeah, I love it even more now,
okay,
because it really gives yeah, I really like helping others. I think it's not about me anymore. I mean, I have success in my own way, and now it's time for other guys to be helped, because I was helped by Hardwell, for example. He gave me the platform. Chester did it with him. Of course, you have to do it yourself. There's nothing they can do if you don't produce or you can't DJ. But that's what I want to do for the other guys. I want to give talented people that deserve it. I want to give them the platform so that other people can see, hey, those guys make awesome music.
So when did the kind of the idea for Dannic Presents Fonk start up? Because it's a remix, a mix compilation. Mix compilation. So when did you decide to compile it into an album?
Basically because my label just started out, and I know how hard it is to yeah, we kind of have an image problem right now, because people still think it's all about EDM and hard-hitting big room music. No, it isn't. That's why I like doing the interviews, because I can actually explain what it's all about. It's about groovy, funky big room house music. So it's not the ravish kind of music, but it's more music that fits in a club environment. So it's a little bit more housey, but it still has the energy to be played at a festival or a club. And the mix compilation is just an extra to support that whole idea of okay, what is the musical direction that we're going for. And of course, my new single "Light the Sky" is on the album as well, which is kind of the track that I'm really happy with since a while. So
before we talk about "Light the Sky," quickly, why do you think that people have this misconception about funk?
Because obviously music is evolving all the time, and back in the day I made a lot of music, a lot of different styles as well, sometimes a little bit harder, sometimes a little bit more groovy. But right now I think it's time for me to really distinguish myself from the other EDM acts and really focus on what I'm all about. It's groove. Groove is the main thing here, and that's actually what I really like to make. So yeah, that's why Fonk Recordings is the perfect label for me.
Okay. And then Light the Sky with Airto, how did it start? Where did the song start?
Yeah, well actually, to keep it short, because it's a long story, but my sister is a really big fan of Airto. Okay. He's considered like a YouTube star, so he has like 1 million viewers on songs that he re-sang, like for Drake and stuff, and Justin Timberlake. He's an amazing singer. And then he attended this Best Singer-Songwriter TV show in Holland, where he performed this track, acoustic version of it. He wrote the song, and he put it on YouTube, and everyone was blown away by it. And actually one of the comments was like, wow, if you would do this with a dance artist, that would make a big hit or whatever. So my sister emailed him, and he's like, no, I don't want to do it because I'm a singer-songwriter, I'm not like a dance artist. But then he actually listened to my tracks, and he's like, okay, wow, yeah, okay, well, see what you can do. So I made this first version, and he was totally blown away by it. And that's how I actually convinced him to do this collaboration with me.
Did you go in the studio together, or was it online?
No, unfortunately it was an online thing. But that's how it is nowadays. I was touring, so I couldn't make it. But he actually re-recorded the vocal in his bedroom, sent it over to me, and I produced the whole song, of course, and did the drop and stuff. We did record a real guitar by a friend of him, and it just sounds so much better than the guitar I programmed.
Right.
But that's just because it's real. So yeah, that was great.
Is this something that you'll think about doing in the future? Because well, you say a live guitar just sounds different. You can hear it. So is live instruments, is that something you will use in the future?
Live instruments is definitely a priority for me right now, because I noticed like it just sounds so much better. It just brings, it just gives warmth to the whole track. And but I never had time to do it because I always work in the box, so on my laptop or my computer at home with software synthesizers. But there's nothing better than a real instrument, in my opinion.
And finally, then on the album, it's not just you; it's a lot of different artists. Is there one you can pick out that kind of has a special meaning to you, or
actually, I'm really proud of the whole mix compilation, because there are a few young guys that I've been supported since a while. For instance, Loax and Tim van Wert. Really talented guys, actually on the Herman van Brood Academy here in Holland, which is like a school for for musical artists. And he actually uses like samples and synthesizers that I never heard before. It sounds really analog. It sounds really warm. So I expect a lot from him. That track in particular is exclusively for this compilation. And you should definitely look out for him, because there is more coming on Fonk Recordings. And
with those kind of tracks, do you give them the freedom to make whatever they want, or do you have the final say in the end? If you want, you have to change this, or?
Of course, I help them with some arrangement tips, but the general idea is always from them. I will never remake a track and then do that. But no, like it's just small tips that they don't think of because they're not DJing yet or not touring yet, as I mentioned before.
Sure.
But no, the general idea is always from the artist itself.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks.